Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you people are doing good study in your home, okay? Students, today we are going to start your chapter of history, that is nationalism in India, okay? First chapter we have completed, afterwards the second chapter is got eliminated in this updates papers. Now we have to study about the nationalism in India, okay? So in that chapter, okay, we have to learn the phase of the Indian freedom struggle, okay, that what all the movements took place in the previous time for getting the independent India, okay. Like we will study the phase before 1947, but that all phases, the different movements will tell us that how we have got the freedom, what is the freedom struggle we people have faced in our ancient time in history, okay. So that's all we are going to discuss, fine. So when we are going to discuss about the different movements, in that very first concept comes about the non-cooperation movement, okay. So we are going to watch the video of the non-cooperation movement and then we will discuss about it. Okay, let's see the video.
On his return from South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi organized several Satyagraha movements from 1916 to 1918 all across India. In this period, the Indians actively supported the British in the First World War with the hope to bargain self-governance for India. But all their hopes were dashed after the British government passed the Rowlatt Act in 1919. The Act allowed the government to adopt repressive measures against the Indians, imprison them without trial for 2 years, and search any place without warrant.
So here student, first of all in this we will discuss about the Satyagraha movement. The details you have just seen. Here what happened in the Satyagraha movement, this Rowlatt Act was passed in 1919, okay, 1919. So according to that act, what happened now, the Britishers can imprison the Indians without any warrant, okay, for 2 years, okay. So that means what, that all the national freedom fighters, okay, those were against the British policies, the rules and regulations, they were agitating, okay, for the freedom. So now because of this Rowlatt Act, okay, now what will happen, that their national freedom fighters, okay, the people who were participating in this freedom struggle, if they the police and the Britishers want, they can arrest them without any warrant, okay. So likewise it is same here. Let's see the further details.
Angered, Gandhi called for an all-India strike on the 6th of April, asking people to non-violently defy this unfair law. This was known as the Rowlatt Satyagraha. But the movement took a grotesque turn on 13th April 1919. During a peaceful public meeting at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, General Dyer ordered his troops to open fire on thousands of innocent, unarmed people. In the shooting that followed, nearly 400 men, women, and innocent children were killed and over thousands injured. This caused widespread discontent among Indians who took to the streets in large numbers in retaliation. The government once again responded brutally. Gandhi
of non-violence, as compared to like Bhagat Singh and the others were like with the path of violence, that they all were having the thought that without violence it is very hard to get the freedom. Okay, so what happened that the Gandhi and the followers, Gandhiji used to communicate to the mass that they all should follow the non-violence path. Okay, so the followers were obeying his word, but what happened in 1990? 1919 again, okay, the Jallianwala scare, that incident happened, in which what happened that it is in Amritsar, okay, you people are knowing it. So in that time what happened that the people were peacefully listening to the meeting, and that time suddenly that General Dyer has came and shooted many thousand people, including men, women and children. Okay, so that was just a shocking incident took place. So Gandhiji again was thinking now what to do, okay, because he always followed the non-violence path only. So now his next step is to bind the Hindu-Muslim together, okay, and how they are going to do it with the Khilafat movement. So let's just see what it is all about.
After the First World War, a harsh peace treaty was to be imposed on the Ottoman Turks. One aspect was to reduce the territory and carve out a new state called Turkey. The other was one that would impact the position of the spiritual head of the Islamic world, the Khalifa. To prevent such thing from happening, the Muslims in India formed a Khilafat committee in Bombay in 1919. The Khilafat movement, led by the Ali brothers, was essentially a Muslim religious movement. It later turned into a national movement when Gandhi joined in to support a unified action against the British.
Okay students, so here two names are there, okay, that is Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali. They both were brothers, and previously this Khilafat movement was just confined to the Muslim community, and it is doing the whole work process were there for getting the freedom only, okay, but later on as Gandhiji also joined this movement for supporting the people for getting together, and that is the freedom of our country. So later on it got combination of both the Hindu and Muslim, and they all were working together for getting the freedom okay, from Britishers. Okay, so likewise it is there.
In 1920, Gandhi got the Congress sanction to launch the non-cooperation movement, which meant that Indians would not cooperate with the British.
Yes, so in 1919, Satyagraha movement and Khilafat movement, you will remember, and afterwards in 1920, this non-cooperation movement were introduced by Gandhiji. According to this movement, now what will happen? The word itself is saying this all things non-cooperation. Okay, that means what? That the people of the country will not cooperate with any kind of work, but peacefully they will just deny that yes, we are not ready to do the work with you. Okay, and in that way they will not give the help to the Britishers, and in that way the Britishers will find it difficult to do any work in the country. So that was the intention of Gandhiji behind this non-cooperation movement. Okay, let's see the things.
The movement involved the boycott of foreign goods and government institutions, surrendering of all government positions, elected offices and titles, and adopting Swadeshi.
Yes, so in this, apart from that denying of this cooperation, what are the other things which is important to know under the non-cooperation movement is boycotting the foreign products, okay, boycotting the foreign education, okay, and adopting more and more more about the products of our own country. Okay, so that is like Swadeshi goods, the goods which is made inside our country by our own people. Okay, so likewise we are boycotting all the things which came from Britishes and we are supporting our own people. Okay, let's see.
Almost every corner of the country actively took part in this movement, be it the town folks, peasants, tribals, or even plantation workers. The enthusiasm of the masses was so high that it started taking a violent shape when an angry mob torched a police station at Chauri Chaura.
So now student, this Chauri Chaura Mishra, or in Hindi it is called as Chauri Chaura Kand. Okay, that happened in 12th February 1922. So from 1920 to 22, this movement of non-cooperation was going smoothly. The people are boycotting and they are not cooperating with Britishers. But what happened that after a certain time, it turned to more agitation. And what happened that in Chaura Chauri, it is a place in Bihar. Okay, so what happened that a police station was there under which the British peoples are there and some Indians were also there. Okay, so what the revolutionary peoples of our country only, what they have done, they have made fire in that police station, and then because of that many people have lost their life. Okay, so because of this, now what happened is the Gandhiji has stopped this non-cooperation movement because he is always the follower of non-violence, but this violence took place from India, from the Indian men's only. The country peoples have done this, so that is why he has cancelled this. Let's just see it.
As a result, Gandhi was forced to call off the movement. Though the movement was short-lived, it was successful in several ways. It awakened the people, spread the surge of nationalism, and, most of all, united the people in the cause of the national struggle. Thus, Gandhi's method of mass agitation had emerged as a successful tool.
Yes, so what happened that, as I told you, it is mentioned like that only, that it is a short span movement only of 2 years. Because of this violence activity, Gandhi has to call off this movement at a stop point only. Why? Because he is always a follower of non-violence. Okay, but what happened, the intention were somehow got reached to all the people that they all have to support their own country's people. Okay, like they have to support the Swadeshi goods. Okay, they have to boycott the British goods, foreign goods. Okay, and this Charkha movement, all things were also took place in this phase only. Okay, that cotton, that in Hindi it is called as Sooth Katna. Okay, so that is done with the help of Charkha, which is like also got popular because of Gandhiji only. So likewise, it is there all about the non-cooperation movement. Let's switch to the next topic. Yes, students. So as we have discussed about the non-cooperation movement, now the next topic is participant groups of the non-cooperation movement. So here the first of all clip we are going to see about the non-cooperation movement participating social groups. Okay, let's see this.
The call for Swaraj was the start of the non-cooperation Khilafat movement in 1921, which spread across India. Different social groups participated in this movement, each with its diverse interpretations and goals. Some of these groups were middle class from the city, countryside and plantation workers.
So here now it is saying that who all were participated in this non-cooperation movement, which all groups of people, okay. So there are the different groups were divided, the participant groups were divided. So it is saying that some people are from the middle class in cities who have participated in non-cooperation movement. Apart from that, there are peasants and travellers from countrysides, because they were also getting, you know, more and more exploitation from Britishers and as well as the higher authorities of the system. So that is why they also very much in need of freedom in their country, okay. And then the plantation workers, so there are few groups which is mentioned here that they all have actively participated in the non-cooperation movement. Let's see the next clip.
Now let us explore the movement in the cities. The movement in the cities began with the middle class participation. The educated middle class participated in large numbers. Teachers and headmasters resigned from government schools. Lawyers stopped practicing. Students left schools run by the British, and council elections were boycotted. But not by all. The Justice Party in the Madras, formed by non-Brahmins, were boycotted.
Yes, so what happened? First of all, we are discussing about the movement in cities, what all things took place. So here it is saying that educated middle class joined the movement. Then who all? So teachers, headmasters resigned from the government institution as they are boycotting the system. That is why they have resigned, teachers and headmasters from the government schools. Okay, because that time the government is who? It is of Britishers only, so that is why. Okay, then council elections were boycotted in almost all provinces. All areas, all provinces is what areas, okay. So in all areas, this council elections were boycotted by the Indian peoples, okay. And the students have boycotted the schools and colleges which were run under the British government, okay. So in that way, the movements in cities were taking place for supporting the non-cooperation movement. And it is saying that everyone is not like supporting this movement. So who all are not supporting? Just let's see this.
But not by all. The Justice Party in the Madras, formed by non-Brahmins, refused to boycott elections.
Yes, so the first one is what? The Justice Party, who were the non-Brahmin parties, they were supporting, they were not boycotting the Britishers, okay.
As this was their opportunity to gain power. As a part of the non-violent movement, foreign goods were boycotted. Clothes burnt in bonfires, and liquor shops were picketed.
Yes, so what all activities were taking place in the cities for this boycotting of this, British products? So it is the activities of non-cooperation movements are boycott of foreign goods. Whatever the goods were there from the British, okay, British side, so they were like boycotted by the people. Then the foreign cloths were burned to bonfire, okay, so as the picture is saying here, okay. And then there were the liquor shops picketed, that means what? The liquors were also got banned, okay.
Since Indians started wearing Indian clothes like khadi, handloom and textile production went up.
Yes, so what happened because of the boycott of the foreign products, now the more demand of Indian products got increased. So in that, production of handloom and textile mills increased as Indian began to wear khadi. Okay, so khadi is what? It is our country's production only. We used to produce this khadi cloths. Okay, so the demand for the khadi products and the Indian textiles were increased because we were like boycotting the foreign goods. Okay.
But sadly, the movement could not be sustained due to some practical reasons. Khadi was more expensive than the British factory-produced cloth.
But now it is saying that some loopholes were there. Because of that, this movement not got successful in a very well manner. The first point is that it is saying that the Indian handloom khadi was more expensive than the British factory cloth. Obviously, students, that time our country was not developed and we were like facing lot of problems. So that is why if our products are handmade, so it will be costly, whereas the Britishers were developed in compared to India and they were having machineries, technology more than our country. So whatever they will produce, it will be of cheaper rate in compared to our products. So that is one of the reasons that the khadi was more costly than of the British meal cloth. So that is why every people are not willing to pay more. Okay.
So the poor could not avoid purchasing British meal cloth. Secondly, students and those who had resigned from British institutions had no alternative Indian organization to work in. So they too were forced to go back to the places they had left.
Yes, so the next thing what happened that though the teachers and the headmasters, the professors were have resigned, okay, but as that was the British rule, so there was no other alternative where that all people who have resigned can go for the work. So they were like bound to go back to their places. So that is why it is saying that no alternative Indian institutions are there for teachers, lawyers or students who has resigned. So that is why they all have to go back to their places for the survival and for getting the education. Okay, so in that way, these all are the problems, challenges in front of the people, and that is why this movement was not got successful in all manner. Okay.
Let us see how the movement spread amongst the people in the countryside. The peasants had a different interpretation of the movement. Their struggle against exploitation by oppressive landlords became a part of this movement.
So here it is saying that in the non-cooperation movement in countryside, we have discussed about the city situation, now we are saying about the countryside. So the different peoples are having the different problems, and according to their problems they were like participating or thinking to the different situations. So here first of all it is saying peasant struggles against oppressive landlords become the part of the movement. So why peasants have took active participation in this movement? Because they were really annoyed with the landlords. Okay, the landlords were exploiting them, so that is why to get a freedom from this whole system they have actively participated in this movement. Okay.
The peasants wanted that the revenue collected from them should be reduced. Begging should be abolished so that they do not have to work without being paid for it. And to boycott the talukdars and landlords socially.
So what are the demands of peasants while they were fighting with this system and they were taking part in this non-cooperation movement? So what are the demands they want when they will get freedom? So there should be a reduction of revenue. They should be got abolish of begging. Okay, begging is the thing which nobody wants to do. Okay, then there will be a social boycott of talukdars and landlords. Okay, because they have only exploited and made their life more miserable. So that is why they want the system free of this all positions. Okay.
With this in mind, some places organized the 9 rupee bunds so that landlords could not avail the services of the barbers and washermen. Baba Ramji led the movements in Awadh. In 1920, Jawaharlal Nehru went around villages trying to understand the grievances of the farmers. As a result, the Awadh Kisan Sabha was formed and headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, Baba Ramji, and a few others. Soon enough, over 300 branches came up, and this became a part of the non-cooperation movement. However, the Congress was not happy with the form of the Peasants' Fund, as they attacked the Talukas houses and looted. They also refused to pay taxes, saying that Gandhiji had said so, and land would be distributed among the peasants. The tribals too interpreted the movement in their own way. Their traditional rights and means of livelihood of entering the forest were denied to them by the colonial government.
Yes, so apart from that, what peasants have been suffered, the tribal people were also suffering because now the Britishers have came, so there was restriction. There is no entry into the reserve areas in the forest. There should no hunting, no shifting, cultivation, and no collection of forest products. But the tribal people used to survive in this sort of practices only previously, so that is why they have also took part actively in this non-cooperation movement. Okay.
They were forced to contribute labor for road building. Alluri Sitaram Raju, inspired by Gandhiji's movement, persuaded the tribal peasants to wear kali and give up drinking. However, he too believed that Swaraj could not be achieved without violence. The Congress did not approve of the Gujar tribals' guerrilla warfare activities to achieve Swaraj. Raju was caught in 1924 and executed. The tribals' guerrilla.
So, Alluri Sitaram Raju was a leader of the tribal peoples who also believed that freedom or the Swaraj cannot be possible without violence. Okay, so he is also supporter of violence only. So, but the Congress did not approve the guerrilla warfare practiced by the tribals, and that is why he got imprisoned. Okay, so I hope this non-cooperation, whatever we have discussed, this much you have got. Okay, please read your book also. Okay, so that it will be more clear to your people. Fine. For today's session, this much only, students. We will proceed to the next part in the next class. Thank you.